so I can be more. Make a difference in this world is what we're here for. I count, give 100%. The money I make, more than I spend. I count, put the numbers to the test. Balance my life, add to success. I count, will I be a star? Forget about the rest, be who you are. I count.
Expenses can be planned or unexpected. Make a plan for the unexpected and make it part of your budget.
I count, so I can be more. Make a difference in this world is what we're here for.
Gee whiz, this is now a bummer.
This is the last thing we need. And we have barely left Limpopo.
I should have stayed home.
Don't worry, I have the spare in the boot. Luckily, we are all right.
We are alright, but how are we going to fix the tire? We can't drive with a spare wheel all the way to Cape Town.
Where is she going? Typical my sister. As soon as there is work to be done, she takes off. Guess it is just me and you, baby, changing this tire.
Very funny. But what? You're not kidding.
No way, sister. You have to get your paws dirty.
Talking about paws. What is that?
Sweet. But where's the owner?
I am the new owner.
Excuse me? I don't think I heard you properly.
I know you might be a heartless witch, but I am not.
What? Did you hear what your sister said?
Now, sis, don't be mean. What will we call the dog?
What? We are not driving to Cape Town with a dog.
This is a partnership, right?
Right? So?
Let's vote. All those in favor of keeping the dog, raise your hands.
Fine. But then you guys can also change the tire by yourselves.
What are we going to call you, you sweet thing? You sweet little thing?
Bookie. I like Bookie. What do you think?
Done. Bookie. Now let's change this tire and get back on the road.
Sorry, big brother. You're on your own. I have to keep an eye on Bookie. We don't want you to run away now, would we?
Goals.
I count.
It is good to have some money saved, especially if something happens and you want some extra cash.
I count.
Okay, guys, so Prudence is insisting that they, take the dog to the road trip. This is kind of weird, but let's just talk about it for a second. Would you vote with Lona and take the dog to a shelter, or would you side with Prudence and Leisure and actually take the dog with?
Well, I really love animals, so I'll take the dog with, but it's going to be a big responsibility.
I'm with Prudence on this one. I mean, we can't just leave the dog in the middle of the road.
Well,
Okay.
it's a difficult one, but you have to do the right thing. Look after a dog and drive the whole day. Hamba ninja. I spy.
Okay, but I guess, depending on how you look at this, then you can make a decision. It's kind of a tricky thing. Think about it from a business point of view, from a budget point of view, right? Lona has made a really, really good budget for this trip. And then we have Prudence, who is the youngest person, has the least amount of money, and has brought in the least amount of money, thus. And then you have Leisure. Leisure doesn't even have the complete amount of money right now to actually go on the trip. He still has to generate the income by selling t-shirts, right? If you look at the travel partnership's financials, you can see that it's not very lucrative to take the dog with. So you tell me, do you think this dog is actually going to be a liability or an asset to the trip?
Definitely a liability, because the dog is not going to generate any income for the partnership. Instead, it's going to incur more and more expenses.
Do you think it's a good business decision to take the dog with?
Nah, I guess not, but you can't just leave the dog there. Sometimes you have unexpected expenses.
Okay. Do you think they should just take the risk and go for it, even though the budget doesn't allow for it?
I don't know, but the dog's there now, so they're going to have to put it in the budget anyway.
I think they should just take the dog to an animal shelter. I mean, extra expenses can be huge. The dog needs food and water. But if you are cool.
Okay, cool. See, guys, this is exactly what you need to do before taking a risk in a business. You need to measure the negatives against the positives and see what the pros and the cons are. The pros being for and the cons being against. So let's take a moment to just look at the negatives of taking Bookie with. What are they?
Like Dinao just said, it's going to be more and more expenses, and they don't have unlimited funds or anything.
Also, They're going to have to stop a lot so that Boki can stretch his legs, and it's going to hamper their progress, as well as it's going to be hard to find accommodation that's animal friendly.
See, that's very good, guys. Now, we need to also then look at the positives of bringing Boki with. Who can tell me any?
It's a defenseless animal, so that you're doing the right thing.
Okay.
Yeah, but only if you've got the funds to look after it.
Or it can also like look after you and stuff, you know, like a security guard.
Okay, well, that's one way to look at it. But if you look at it from a business point of view, it seems to me like the negatives far outweigh the positives. So the cons outweigh the pros, and therefore it's not a good business decision to take Boki with. Do you guys agree? Yeah. Cool.
It is important to analyze the risks you want to take in your business. By writing down the pros and cons for a decision, you can determine if it makes good business sense. Sometimes something sounds like a good idea, but if you start analyzing it, you realize it's actually a bad decision for your business.
Always plan for the unexpected.